Welcome to the LNLPodcast. My name is Josh.
And I'm Michelle.
And we talk to you about Connecticut 2A issues. So today we're going to give you a brief legislative update for 2020. Not that has started yet, but that's what this update's about.
It's coming.
It is. So this year is called a short session. And why is it called a short session? Well, because the times are a lot shorter.
Every even year is a short session.
Consequently, when your state reps and senators run for re-election. So I'm sure we'll have plenty of content this year between the legislative session and the election stuff. I want to focus a little bit more on that to educate you guys down the road here and, vote better.
That's not, you can't say vote better. You just have more information to help you vote in a way that will help your Second Amendment rights.
Yeah, voting better. So this session starts Wednesday, February 4th. And we'll go to around May 6th. Now, being a shorter session, unlike the long session, which was this past year in 25, short session, only committees, with exception, can bring up bills.
So what that means, though, is that the people within the committees or legislators give their bill to a committee and the committee decides. It's not like the committee is the only one making these bills. They are brought to the committee and say, can you please introduce this for us?
Yeah. So in the long session, anyone can propose a bill for whatever they want.
As many bills as they want.
In this one, it is shorter, it is quicker, and it normally has to do with some sort of financial aspect.
Yes.
It's where they go and do their budget, which is, super fun. I'm sure we'll find some daycares under there that we're funding.
I don't know. Maybe they might be friends with Walls. Just throw a little humor in there. And that's national news, by the way.
But anyways, so they get through their sessions and then May 5th, I'm sure they kick off their campaigns. Now, in that aspect, Southington Wise already has. Michelle and I attended Rob Sampson's kickoff campaign the other day and well attended.
Yeah. And even if he's not in your district, guys, he is he is the best legislator and senator that we have up there. So keep in mind, he is fundraising. Again, not in your district. It's okay. He could use any funds you can possibly give him. We want to make sure that we keep him. We do not want to lose him at all. And after the municipality elections, my personal is I'm a little worried that we'll be losing people.
Yeah.
Rob seems to be very optimistic and seems to think everything's going to be really good this session in this election cycle. I hope so. But, he needs help, and anyone else that if you have a legislator in your area, support them. You don't have to give a lot of money, $10, $5. It really helps, and give your time.
Yeah. Sometimes they're trying to get a number of people too.
Yes.
So I think the minimum aspect is $5.
Yep.
And that's all it has to be, because the state level, once they get so much money in donations, they actually unlock funding for their campaigns. So it's kind of like they have to hit a goal, then they get state funding to run their campaigns. Now, on the flip side, State Rep Chris Poulos had his as well for Southington. I did not attend that.
I didn't either.
Not for, I guess, for a few reasons, but I was not in the country. So I get to use that as an excuse. Donna and Gail, also from Southington. You've seen Donna on here before, and other parts. They have not done anything that I've seen yet.
It's still early.
Yeah.
Key races are going to start coming out a little harder. Yep. We've heard a lot of talk about Aaron Stewart and a little bit of talk about Ryan Fazio. I think you're going to hear more and more about Ryan as the time comes closer. Key races are already starting to ramp up. Then you have a lot of others. You're going to start seeing them really ramp up come usually around June or July. More of the campaign stuff starts. That's when they start needing help.
You're going to see primaries this year too, across the board, I think. So one thing is probably going to be Fazio and Aaron. So we'll talk about that in a later podcast, though, potentially. Yes. We'll find out who we can have as a guest.
Well, and you won't find out if there's really a primary until after the convention, because the convention, the Connecticut GOP Central picks, all the RTCs go and they put a vote in for who they want. And that person usually comes out. That's where your quote unquote, the idea of if you have more than one person running for that position, that's where that gets decided. And then after that, if there is more than one person that still wants to stay in the race, then they can petition with signatures, I believe. And I don't know if it's also
That's
money.
what Matt Corey did in this 2 years ago.
Stefanowski did it in his first run for governor. He petitioned and he got in, and he actually won the primary by doing so.
Well, so did Corey here, right? So we had Corey on a couple of years ago. And he was he primaried the guy that was running against Murphy.
Yes.
And like blew him out of the water, if I remember correctly. Because and I don't know this other guy, but I do remember hearing from people that the guy wasn't doing anything.
Yes. It's basically a placeholder. Yeah. And so he was trying to make it so the placeholder was no longer there. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot to this. There's a lot of moving parts. It's not just, hey, this one's running and that's what it is. Until you get down to the actual election in November, there's a lot of things that can change. All I can say is do your research. If there are multiple people looking for one position, it is important to know, not just go with the mainstream media, go with Facebook. Oh, this person likes this. For me personally, it's not even to go with whatever CTGOP wants. Most of the time I don't, because they go too soft for me. They want Republican light because they think they can win that way. I vote for the candidate that I think would do the best job for Connecticut. I'd rather lose backing somebody that I believe would do better than win for somebody that I don't feel would do the right thing for this state. That's me personally.
On the governor aspect there, I think either of them will do a lot better than Ned. So
I hope so. That's a hope.
I feel like,
I don't know that both candidates would do better for us as 2A.
Yeah. I feel like there is probably one that's better than the other, but maybe they'll be on the podcast. We don't know.
We're going to try to get both of them on. We'll see how that goes. Once we get into legislative session, though, it will be a little harder to get Ryan Fazio in here. So hopefully we can get him in sooner than later, because it gets a little crazy when they're doing legislative session and juggling jobs and juggling campaigns. And
he's newly engaged too.
Is he? I didn't know that. For him.
I saw that on Facebook or Instagram a couple months ago.
Good for him. It's a little more stress to add to your life. That's awesome.
Yep.
But as far as the legislative session goes, so like Josh said, it's going to start. It's going to be, right away. They'll have lists on the CT.gov. I believe they list out all the bills that are proposed. Now, then at that point, like we've talked about in the past, once they're proposed, then the committees all look at each one for wherever they deem that committee needs to oversee. And then the committee decides whether or not it's something they want to move forward with. And then you have public hearings. And then the committee decides whether or not it's going to go onto the floor for a vote. They put it out to the vote. And then whoever is doing and calling, so your majority leaders, I believe, are the ones that decide what gets called in what order.
Yeah.
And then the votes happen. So there's a process there too. This one's a little bit quicker, thank goodness. And it is fiscal. So it has to have some kind of a fiscal component. So they can't say, like back when they did the AR ban, they can't say they want to do an AR ban because there's no fiscal component to that. Yeah. So this has to have something to do with monetary.
Could be another ammo tax.
Yep.
Potential.
Yep.
What was her name again?
Gilchrist.
Jillian Gilchrist. She's currently primarying or attempting to primary
John Larson.
We discussed that a while ago. There's a separate video on that.
I would like her to go. I hope she wins.
And so let's see if she brings up an ammo tax again. I believe it's been brought up maybe 5 times total, maybe 4 times. The first time was, so there's always math involved with this too. But I believe the first time equated to like 50% ammo tax, and then 30, and then like 25, 20, 15. So we'll see what they get down to. Or if they don't bring it up.
The more times it's proposed, the more likely it's going to get put in. It's going to pass eventually. But we have Gilchrist, but then you also have a couple others. You have like Baby Blumenthal and I'm sorry. That's not really his name. His last name is Blumenthal.
We found out what his nickname is up there, and it's not YouTube appropriate. So,
but there's some of those that are a little more rabid than others that will probably try to propose some things. So get ready because it's not going to be a relief in any way. Like, it's fiscal. So it's going to cost us more money no matter what they propose. Keep in mind.
They could bring back the permit when they try to increase that to like $350 instead of $70.
Could
bring back that.
Could, you know what? My one hope this session is that because the Grant versus, I think it's Higgins now, it's changed, lawsuit is going to be in play.
Grant versus Lamont for the common name.
Suing the state. So hopefully with that sitting at Supreme Court's door and them also being sued by the DOJ for their voter rolls and a couple other things that the FBI has been looking into, and our state is being investigated, whether you know it or not. It's not necessarily being publicized all over the place. And that the people in charge right now are not going to tell you these things. So hopefully with some of that, they'll kind of tap down some of their, we can do whatever we want bills.
We will find out. I'm sure Michelle and I will go up to the Capitol to go testify against a bill at some point.
As long as I'm here.
As long as we're not on vacation.
Or other trips.
There are some planned podcasts for you guys. Like, we do try to organize things.
Yeah. And
just the beginning of the year is tough for every news-wise. There's nothing really happening.
No, we're in a holding pattern. And like it's not just vacations. I have other stuff that I have to travel for. So, but we'll figure it out. We'll keep you guys informed. And worst comes to worst, we'll figure out how to do one with me away. And
end of February, there will be a good podcast.
Absolutely. A couple, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
But we'll keep you updated on that. Maybe we'll do a mobile podcast from the Capitol one day. Who knows?
Yeah.
We go testify on a bill. Be kind of cool, actually. See who else is there.
Absolutely. I'm game.
It'd be interesting.
I'm game.
Anyways, so just a quick little update on you guys. We will keep you informed of anything that gets proposed.
Yes.
Make sure you follow our personal pages for our businesses, Patriot Wear Holsters, on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. We need to do more TikToks. We need Matt out there dancing to some viral music or something.
See, I would actually pay to see that. If you could get him to do that, that would be interesting. Okay.
We'll try. We'll work
Good
on
luck.
it. We'll bring some alcohol and then lock and load firearms and everything else. And then make sure if you're watching this on YouTube, you subscribe, and we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Lock and Load Podcast is sponsored by Lock and Load Firearms, Connecticut's #1 rated gun store and pistol permit class on Google. Come check us out, 1573 Meriden Waterbury Turnpike in Southington. Lock and Load Firearms.
Lock and Load Podcast is also sponsored by Patriot Wear Holsters, custom-made Kydex holsters locally made in Waterbury, Connecticut. www.patriotwearholster.com and use code LNLPodcast for 10% off your purchase. Orders available for shipping or pickup at various locations.